previous lecture we were looking at the economic lot scheduling problem. We were looking at this graph where we said that we are considering say 3 items. This is for the equipment or the facility that is producing these 3 items. So the first item is produced for a period say T1, and then inventory is built up, and this inventory is used to meet the demand for the rest of the period. Then we produce a second item which is shown in yellow, and we consume while we produce, and then inventory is built up, and then this inventory is used to meet the demand for the rest of the cycle. Then we produce the third item which is shown in blue up to a certain point. It is not necessary that these peaks have to be the same, these are only indicative. So we produce this third item, then stop production, consume this inventory. Then we come back to the first item. Now this is called the cycle. This cycle is capital T, and in the economic lot scheduling problem we assume that the cycle is the same for all the 3 items. Then we wrote an expression for the total cost which runs like this. So total cost is the sum of the costs associated with all the 3 items, in general n items. For each item there is an ordering cost, and there is a setup cost, and there is a carrying cost. As mentioned earlier, setup cost is the equivalent of ordering cost. Ordering cost is when we buy the item from outside and order, while setup cost is incurred when we produce. Now we also realize that in this figure I have given a small gap between the ending of production of this item and the beginning of production of the next item, and this small gap, that much amount of time is used in the changeover or the setup to make this item, and there is a cost associated with that setup which is our setup cost. So if we take a particular item, the number of times we would make that item is d by q. So the usual expression is d by q into C naught, where C naught for item j is the changeover cost, dj is the annual demand, qj is the order quantity or production quantity for that item, plus we also have already derived qj